Look, throughout history, the really dangerous people, they weren't the ones swinging swords. They were the quiet ones who understood that Mother Nature's medicine cabinet has a darker shelf. And some people became masters of that darker shelf. These are their stories. Fair warning, some of this will make your skin crawl. Locusta of Gaul. Ancient Rome, where backstabbing was practically a job requirement. But one woman figured out she didn't need a blade at all. Locusta had emperors on speed dial. Born around 1 AD in Gaul. Captured, dragged to Rome as a slave. Most people? They're scrubbing floors, serving wine, the usual enslaved labor stuff. But Locusta had different plans. She starts studying plants, fungi, minerals, learning from local herbalists, watching, taking mental notes. Just absorbing everything like some kind of toxic sponge. She positioned herself as a healer, understanding that the difference between remedy and poison, sometimes it's just the dose, my friend. Just the dose. But more importantly, she understood Roman politics. She knew that in Rome's cutthroat power games, knowing your toxins was just as valuable as commanding legions. So she makes connections. Influential families, people with problems that needed discreet solutions. Now Agrippina the Younger, ambitious mother of the century, she wants her boy Nero on the throne. One problem, Emperor Claudius is alive. Inconvenient, right? But here's the beautiful, terrible detail. But Claudius loved mushrooms. Everyone knew it. Talk about a vulnerability. October 54 AD. Dinner time. Claudius dies at the table. Natural causes, they said.
Step forward, Nero. This is your destiny.
Nero becomes emperor. Locusta becomes imperial consultant. Here's what blows my mind. She didn't hide. When Nero needed someone eliminated, he just called her. Like ordering takeout. Young Britannicus becomes inconvenient? One dinner later, dead within minutes. She operated openly for years, eventually opening a school, turning murder into a teachable craft. Their final exam? Poisoning someone.
Your final exam will be poisoning someone. They die, you pass. They live, you fail. Understood?
Only someone with deep, deep issues comes up with that curriculum. When Nero fell in 68 AD, she was executed. But her name literally became the Roman word for this profession. Linguistic immortality. 2. The Sugisawas. Feudal Japan, 1603 to 1868. Honor was everything. But if nobles had problems, they called the Sugisawas. Here's what's chilling. This was an entire family dynasty. Fathers teaching sons, mothers instructing daughters. Generation after generation of murder training. And their specialty? Patience. They created compounds mimicking natural diseases perfectly. Cholera, plague, common illnesses. But their real genius, just thinking about it makes me uneasy, was infiltration. They'd pose as gardeners, servants, tea masters, spending years establishing trust. Imagine, you hire a gardener, lovely person, remembers your kids' names, you trust them completely.
This tea is especially soothing today, isn't it?
Indeed, it's the company that makes it better.
Then months later, unexplained illness strikes. The gardener, long gone. How would you prove anything? The noble died of disease. The gardener was just a servant. No evidence, no motive, no connection. They operated for over a century before being discovered. When caught, their formulas were lost. The family took everything to the grave. Talk about job security. 3. Marianne Cotton. Victorian England. Disease everywhere. And Marianne Cotton understood. When everyone's dying anyway, a few extra deaths just blend in. She marries William Mowbray, has 9 children. 5 die young, tragically normal for 1850s England. Then William dies. Insurance payout. She marries George Ward. He dies within a year. Another payout. Then James Robinson. His children die, their newborn dies. When James gets suspicious, she just leaves him for Frederick Cotton. Frederick's sister dies. Frederick dies. His sons die. Even her own son, Robert, dies. 20 years. Nobody connected the dots. Her method? Arsenic rat poison from any shop. The symptoms matched cholera perfectly, a disease ravaging industrial towns. Authorities didn't suspect murder. They saw disease. But here's her downfall. In 1872, she says about her stepson,
He might die like the others.
a week later he does. Can you believe the arrogance? Autopsy. 21 confirmed victims. Her case changed Britain forever. Insurance reform, arsenic regulations, pattern recognition. But it took 21 bodies for anyone to notice. 4. Giulia Tofana. Giulia Tofana is responsible for more deaths than everyone else combined. 600 victims, maybe more. Renaissance Italy, 1620. Her mother had a dark reputation, but Giulia thought, I can do better. I can make this perfect. She spent years experimenting, obsessed with creating the ultimate poison. The result? Aqua Tofana. Colorless, odorless, tasteless. Effects were gradual, weeks or months. People just wasted away. Natural causes every time. Her customers? Unhappily married women in abusive situations. Renaissance Italy meant no divorce, no escape. These women were trapped with violent men. Giulia offered alternatives in bottles disguised as cosmetics or holy water. St. Nicholas imagery on them, complete innocence. She built distribution networks across Italy. For 50 years, Rome and Naples filled with widows who inherited estates after husbands mysteriously died. A client confesses.
I must confess, the weight of my sins has been too much to bear.
Investigation reveals 600 confirmed cases. The Pope himself intervened. She was imprisoned. Here's the question that haunts historians. Mass murderer or provider of impossible options to women with no legal recourse? History doesn't give easy answers. Lavoisin, Paris, 1640. Catherine Monvoisin turned French aristocracy into her laboratory. Started as a fortune teller and midwife. But she realized wealthy people didn't want predictions. They wanted to change the future, remove human obstacles. She built an empire. Love potions, black masses, special preparations. Louis XIV's court provided all the clientele she needed. That place was a snake pit where competition was deadly. Here's what gets me. She lived in mansions, wore expensive clothes, traveled by carriage. She was advertising. Everyone knew what Lavoisin did. Authorities knew. She was tolerated because she was indispensable. She allegedly served the king's mistress, who feared losing royal affection. Talk about high-stakes clientele. Authorities raid her establishments. Client lists, receipts, laboratory equipment, hundreds of transactions. The affair of the poisons implicated hundreds, including the king's associates. Louis XIV personally intervened to protect his reputation. February 22, 1680. Lavoisin was executed, but she proved this profession could scale. With the right business model, you could run a murder startup. Dr. William Palmer, 1850s Staffordshire. William Palmer, respectable doctor, community pillar. Just one problem: gambling addiction. Horse racing consumed money faster than his practice earned. Within years, drowning in debt. But he's got medical knowledge, restricted substances, community trust. That creates opportunity. Wife Annie dies in 1854, heavily insured. Brother Walter dies, insured. Mother-in-law dies, more insurance. He's monetizing his family tree through death.
The numbers are quite promising. This venture will yield substantial returns.
As a doctor, he could prescribe medications, sign death certificates, attend deathbeds. Police wouldn't question anything. Perfect closed loop. Friend John Cook wins big at races, then suddenly becomes violently ill. Palmer attends him, administering more poison under the guise of treatment. Cook dies in agony. Cook's stepfather demands autopsy. Palmer panics, tries bribing everyone, contaminating samples. His desperation revealed everything. 14 suspicious deaths connected to Palmer. June 14th, 1856, hanged. His case taught a crucial lesson. Credentials aren't character references. The Borgias. Rodrigo Borgia became Pope Alexander VI in 1492. The family made poison infamous across Europe. Their reputation itself was a weapon. The legendary Cantarella, feared throughout Italy. Cardinals opposing the Pope mysteriously fell ill at dinners. Wealthy cardinals died conveniently, fortunes flowing to Vatican coffers. Cesare Borgia led armies, invited enemies to negotiations that were death sentences. Machiavelli used him as the model for the prince. What makes them significant? Audacity. This was state policy. The Pope himself was involved. Who investigates the Pope? Alexander VI died suddenly in 1503 after dinner. Darkly poetic. The Borgias became the template for every conspiracy theory about powerful families using poison as policy. Dr. Crippen. 1910. London, when forensic science finally caught up. Holly Crippen, American doctor. Miserable marriage. Affair with Secretary Ethel. January 1910. Wife Cora disappears. Crippen says she went to America, later died there. Ethel moves in, wears Cora's jewelry openly. Friends get suspicious. Crippen panics and runs to Canada. His panic makes police search harder. They find human remains in the coal cellar. Scientific analysis detects hyoscine hydrobromide traces. Forensic toxicology had caught up. Scotland Yard sent a wireless telegram to Canada. First murder case using telegraph technology. Police were waiting at the dock. November 23, 1910, hanged. Crippen marks the end. After 1910, forensic science advanced rapidly. The game changed entirely. Modern science closed the door on this dark chapter. History's most cunning chemists. People who understood nature provided the tools. Some operated in shadows, some in plain sight. Everyone reminds us, knowledge without conscience is the most dangerous thing in the world. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more from the Bin of History. My name is Aaron, and I love history. Until next time, farewell.